Hey, what's up? Well, coming at you from the space room today, I'm getting a rare opportunity to make a video. And as you can see, my telescope is blocking that lamp. And it's very exciting once I get this room clean enough or neat enough that I can put my telescope back in the room. And, it's just a very nice thing to have kind of an office room and a bedroom. Well, before I lose this opportunity, I like to cut to the chase and without further ado, just get on to the title of this video, which is Better Nutrition is Not the Answer. Okay? And what I mean by that, well, I'm motivated by a number of things. But all my life, it has just really annoyed the hell out of me when, we'd study about nutrition. And while that is very important, you need like certain vitamins to keep your body healthy in various ways. Um, it is not the answer as far as reducing the number of colds. Um, no, of course I don't have a cold right now, but it just really makes me mad how they teach kids that nutrition is very important, or that dressing a certain way or nutrition. Well, that's BS. Okay, and I'm here to tell you that the number in particular of colds is not influenced by as I've stated before, they are freaking viruses. Colds are viruses, and my name is a continuous reminder as to what causes colds. And colds are viruses. Let's freaking establish that. Okay. And viruses, whether or not you get a virus has everything is primarily to do with whether or not you've already had it and whether or not you're exposed. If you're exposed and you've never had it, you're probably going to get it. If you're exposed and you've already had it, you're probably not going to get it. If you're not exposed, you're not going to get it whether or not you've already had it, and so on. Okay, so that is how viruses work. Okay, and it is not nutrition. They're not a result of poor nutrition. They're not a result of being cold. They're somewhat made worse by stress and sleep deprivation, but that is also debatable. Because although the people that didn't get enough sleep in the study were more likely to have a cold, the reality is that most adults in the study, whether or not they were sleep deprived, when infected with a cold virus, did not get a cold. So, were there a higher percentage of the ones sleep deprived that did get it? Yes. But did the majority of either group get it? No. And that's because by the time you're an adult, you have been exposed to the majority of cold viruses, plain and simple. So, colds are not caused by poor nutrition. And I just get really sick of people thinking that, you eat more vegetables, you take more vitamins, and that reduces the number of colds. Well, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. There is nothing you can take that will cause you to not get a cold when you put your stupid child in daycare, especially a boy, and or the child enters elementary school. And that is why I am doing the single most important thing that I can possibly do to not get colds, which is to not be exposed to children. The more and younger people you're exposed to on a daily basis, the more likely you are to catch a cold. And I would like to add, just because I have a resentment toward males that, one cannot comprehend simply because I wasn't allowed to be one growing up. I still am not one today, but let's face it, even if I got on testosterone tomorrow, and my voice changed dramatically, and to every MFer out there, I am just a short man, okay? I would still not have a little boyhood, okay? I would still never have a childhood in which I was in Boy Scouts and Little League and whatnot. I would never get to go back to the 80s and 90s and wake up in a bed like that. So that is the resentment that I have toward little boys. And I always love to point out things like that. You know, they poop in their britches longer than girls, and they catch more colds than girls, up to a certain age. So, you know, they're disgusting. Okay, and so the more and younger people you're around, and the higher percentage of boys, you know, the younger, more masculine, and more numerous the people you're around in a day's time, the more likely you are to catch viruses. It's plain and simple, you know? Being around one adult female like my mom on an average, typical day's time, just being around one woman, which is basically my 28th year of life, age 27, I was pretty much only around my mom that year. And that's why it was the first year in my entire life I got through that age without a cold. You know, when you're just one or a few women living together in a house, which has always been my dream, which was why I've always wanted to live as a guy. You know, it isn't that I'm attracted to masculinity and all the crap that guys are into, other than for the aesthetic appearance of it, simply because guys are into it, not because I like it. Um, yeah, I've just always wanted to be male so that I could basically have a female partner, so to speak, so that it would be socially acceptable for me to, I wouldn't say marry another woman, but just live with another woman as a couple and not be called a lesbian. But now that, you know, gay marriage is legal and all that, and, you know, I mean, they just have gay people, it makes me question, now, why is it so important for me to redefine myself as a male? Why can't I just be a female, you know, that wants to be with another female? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'd much prefer. I would much prefer to just be accepted as a female, you know, that doesn't like guys or wants to have a female partner, than to try to carve myself into the image of a man. But I digress. So yeah, I mean, the more younger and more masculine the people you're around in a day's time, you know, being around a group of little bitty boys is much more likely to expose you to a cold virus than, say, being a daughter with a mom, a single mom, and perhaps a sister, or a mother with only adult daughters, you know, older girls. You know, if you have two teenage daughters, that is a much different level of exposure than having two little boys under age 5, or for sure under age 10. So, you know, boys are filthy. You know, they shed viruses all the time. And when they are sick, they're much more likely to pass it on to someone because they're just filthy. They don't wash their hands, and they play in large groups. And so, you know, I'm just sick to death of people thinking or suggesting that if you dress a certain way, you eat a certain way, that you're not going to get sick. Well, that is bull. That is bull. And the reason why there is such a huge or such a wide variety in the numbers of colds that adults get, even living under one roof, is because people had different levels of exposure in childhood. You know, fathers don't get as many colds as mothers because when they were little boys, they were filthy, and that built their immunity. You know what I'm saying? They had more colds as little boys, you know, in Little League and Boy Scouts and all that, you know, being around large groups of other boys. And so poor mom, you know, didn't have as many. There she was listening to her mom washing her hands and being clean. And, you know, because girls are more likely to be only children for some reason. You know, people that have large numbers of children, for some reason, they tend to have boys. I don't know why. So yeah, it's not about nutrition, and I'm sick of people not eating out because they think better nutrition will make them healthier. And I'll go ahead and post this video.